Meanwhile, the UK is restarting talks with the EU over its post-Brexit relationship. Time is running out for the talks ahead of the December 31st deadline. Westminster says it's refusing to extend the date despite calls from Brussels for a delay. Well, let's head to Dublin to speak to our correspondent Shona Murray. Shona, morning to you. Look, before this pandemic, Brussels and London were really struggling to agree. Of course, it's got a whole extra layer of complication and potentially delay. How has the coronavirus pandemic changed these discussions and the developments?
Well, significantly, Rosie, even if you look at the fact that things have already been delayed when the time limit was very, very short in the first place. And then, of course, you have, for the time being, intensive legal, political, technical, complicated negotiations taking place through the medium of software, where the delegations can't actually meet each other because of the lockdown situation. If you look at the priorities on both sides, the EU on Thursday will be discussing how to support member states in their economic response, their grave economic response to the COVID-19 disease. And if you look at also what Brexit is about, it's about creating friction in trade. So, for example, in January, even if both sides can come up with some sort of a deal, businesses in Europe, businesses in the UK will have to adjust to that. There will be huge bureaucracy, administration, new softwares and systems having to be put in place. That will be a huge burden on all businesses who are trying to reopen and resuscitate their industries after the COVID-19. And again, as I mentioned, Brexit is about creating friction. And already, as we've been discussing for several weeks now, there's problems with supply chains as it is. So that could be complicated, particularly for the UK, I suppose, because it's an island and it will no longer have access to its largest trading partner or the single market. So as you said there, the EU and sources I've been speaking to does actually believe the UK will have no choice but to accept some sort of a transition delay. But the concern from Brussels is that that Boris Johnson perhaps just doesn't want to do it for the sake of looking like he's asking something new from Brussels. But the EU is saying we don't have to request an extension, we'll just agree to an extension. They do believe that this is actually inevitable. Rosie.
Shona, thank you very much.